Cowboys 2H Michael Conroy, AP Georgia wide receiver Mecole Hardman runs the 40-yard dash at the NFL Football Scouting Combine in Indianapolis, Saturday, March 2, 2019. AP photo, Michael Conroy, by John Owning at John Owning. The NFL Scouting Combine is nearing its conclusion, which means it's time to take another stab at predicting the Dallas Cowboys 2019 draft class. The draft can go a myriad of ways for the Cowboys, and free agency is bound to shake things up even more, but Jerry Jones made one thing clear in his discussions with reporters in Indianapolis: the time is now for them to be Super Bowl contenders. With that in mind, let's dive headfirst into a new Cowboys mock draft. Note, in an effort to keep the mock draft as realistic as possible, we will be using the Draft Network's mock draft machine. Round 2, no. 58 overall pick. Christian Miller, edge, Alabama. With Randy Gregory's suspension, defensive end became a real possibility for the Cowboys in the second round. An Alabama product, Christian Miller is an outstanding option at that point in the draft. The Cowboys love length on the defensive line, and Miller's 35-inch arms certainly exceed their threshold. On the field, there's not a ton to dislike about Miller, who possesses a plethora of tantalizing traits as a pass rusher. He possesses a good enough get-off from a three-point stance and an upfield burst to stress offensive tackles' pass sets off the edge. Miller displays the appropriate flexibility in his lower half to effectively corner around the edge while maintaining balance and speed. This is an impressive route from Miller is an edge to keep an eye on as the process moves forward. Very impressed in early studies of him. Once he reaches striking distance, he demonstrates nuanced and effective hand technique to defeat a blocker's hands and shorten the corner. Really like this rep from Miller. Unsuccessful with the initial move, but does a fantastic job of sequencing into a powerful long arm, which pushes Greg Little into the QB, causing the QB to trip. Love how Miller sinks his weight as he executes the long arm to maximize leverage. Pic.twitter.com/hoadbodoc John Owning, at John Owning, February 13, 2019. When a blocker parries Miller's initial strikes, the Alabama product has proven capable of sequencing to a second or third move to win off the edge, displaying a dangerous club-to-long arm shot put move to beat offensive tackles and apply pressure on the quarterback. Miller lacks the ability to convert his speed into an effective bull rush, but he possesses a capable long arm where he uses leverage to his advantage well. Despite playing most on passing downs, Miller is a plus-run defender who uses his length to effectively maintain separation at the point of attack, enabling him to shed and make a play if need be. Miller can be moved off his spot by more aggressive and powerful offensive tackles when he misses with his hands, but he has his way with tight ends. He sets a strong edge and understands how to spill runs toward the sideline when the situation calls for it. Unfortunately, Miller has a checkered injury history: torn biceps in 2017, hamstring in 2018, which is a big reason why he could be available in the late second round. Ultimately, he would be a great candidate to replace Gregory's juice off the edge. He's an above-average athlete with sublime hand technique and footwork, and his most productive days are likely ahead of him. Round 3, no. 90, Colin Saunders, DT, Western Illinois. One of the biggest complaints levied at the Cowboys front office and coaching staff is their propensity to avoid taking defensive tackles early in the draft. The Cowboys maintain that a big, space-eating defensive tackle who thrives against the run must also display some intriguing pass rush traits for them to feel comfortable investing a top 100 pick. Measuring in at 6 feet, 324 pounds, Colin Saunders has the appearance of a space-eating nose tackle but displays a lot of plus traits as an interior penetrator and pass rusher with 11 sacks in his last 2 seasons combined. One of the best stories to come out of. His wife gave birth to their baby girl during the week. Check out his sack celebration. Pic.twitter.com/MAFDVHL, Jim Nagy, at Jim Nagy. SB, February 23, 2019. Saunders possesses a potent club swim move that he uses to win early and generate pressure as a pass rusher. Despite his bulk, Saunders displays an above-average first step with impressive upfield burst for his size. Saunders' hands need some tightening, but they are extremely active and powerful, making him a nuisance for interior offensive linemen. As with most players his size, Saunders fatigues quickly and can become a liability on 10-plus play drives, as he lacks the gas tank to maintain his high motor. Coming from a small school, Saunders did well to quiet concerns about his ability to hang with the top talent in college football while at the Senior Bowl, where he was one of the best interior defensive linemen in attendance. Saunders would be a promising addition to the Cowboys' defense at nose tackle while also possessing the ability to widen out and play from the under-tackle, 3-technique defensive tackle position as well. His skill set, play style and love for football would be an outstanding fit in Rod Marinelli's defense. Round 4, no. 128, Mecole Hardman, WR, Georgia. Since the Cowboys likely won't find a slot receiver who can immediately replace Cole Beasley's rude running ability, it makes sense to target one who can provide something Beasley can't. At 5'10", 187, Mecole Hardman, who only has 2 years of receiver experience, is still a bit raw from a route running perspective, but his 4.33 speed gives him the ability to attack vertically in ways Beasley couldn't, 4.49 speed. Hardman combines that speed with outstanding quickness out of his stance and breaks. Blessed with a two-way go off the line of scrimmage, Hardman can be dangerous without the threat of press coverage. His speed allows him to eat up and blow by a cornerback's cushion with ease. Hardman shows a nice ability to track the ball in the air, indicating that he has natural ball skills despite having played the position full-time for just 2 years. Once Hardman gets the ball in his hands, defenses are truly in trouble. His speed and creativity as a ball carrier make him a yards-after-catch maven. Hardman's lack of polish as a route runner shows up in his inability to manipulate the leverage of defensive backs and alter pacing with his routes. He tends to rely on his considerable athletic ability to create separation, so he will need to add more nuance with his routes or he will struggle to separate against the better cornerbacks in the NFL. Outside of his abilities as a receiver, Hardman is an outstanding return man, averaging 20.1 yards per punt return and 25.2 yards per kickoff return at Georgia. He shows nice vision to identify running lanes to go along with the speed and acceleration to get to the lane and outrun pursuit angles. Overall, Hardman, who had 35 catches for 453 yards and 7 touchdowns in 2018, would be an excellent addition to the Cowboys' offense. He brings the ability to stretch the field with his speed while also possessing the ability to be potent on jet sweeps and as a return man. Round 4, no. 136, Darwin Thompson, RB, Utah State, not invited to combine. The Cowboys need to find a complementary back to Ezekiel Elliott, and Darwin Thompson could be the man for the job. Listed at 5'8", 185, Thompson is one of the more exciting running backs to watch in this class. Despite his diminutive stature, he has some of the best contact balance in the class, showing a unique ability to absorb contact and continue running. Thompson also possesses a lot of intriguing traits as a ball carrier, showing impressive vision and patience on zone runs. He has the agility to elude defenders in the hole with the acceleration to cut through the second level of a defense. With 23 catches for 351 yards and 2 touchdowns in 2018, Thompson proved to be a capable receiver out of the backfield, making him a viable third down option in the NFL as well. As the Cowboys look to become more explosive on offense, Thompson would be a great option to add some juice to Kellen Moore's offense as a complementary piece. Round 5, no. 165, Isaiah Johnson, CB, Houston. After not drafting a cornerback a year ago, Cowboys defensive backs coach Chris Richard finally gets a new toy to play with in Houston's Isaiah Johnson. In Richard's coverage system, size and length are valued a great deal when evaluating cornerbacks, and Johnson passes the test with flying colors, measuring in at 6'2", 208 with absurd 33-inch arms. Since I've been looking at a bunch of Houston Cougars stuff with Ed Oliver and Emma Egbuel, let me just say that CB Isaiah Johnson is fantastic and has massive potential. A 6 feet 2 inches. Pic.twitter.com/2aphlpu10r. Chris Kaufman, at Seek Parrot, February 21, 2019. Johnson thrives in press coverage when he can use his length to slow a receiver's release and disrupt the timing of their route. His press ability, length and long speed make him an ideal fit as an outside cornerback in the Dallas defense. Johnson's size and athleticism enable him to compete well at the catch point. His size hinders his ability to quickly change directions, and it can cause him to yield separation at the top of routes. Johnson often relies on his physicality to slow receivers at the top of their routes, which may lead to a lot of penalties early in his transition to the NFL. Overall, Johnson isn't likely to get much playing time in year one, but with Anthony Brown and Byron Jones scheduled to become free agents in 2020, Johnson could see his playing time take a substantial jump in year 2 or 3. Round 7, no. 241, Donald Parham, Tay, Stetson, not invited to combine. Cowboys fans, say hello to your new Rico Gathers. Except Donald Parham actually played football in college, coming off FCS All-America honors last season. Measuring in at 6'8", 243 with 36-inch arms, Parham has a unique frame for the position, but is severely underdeveloped physically, as his thin frame will render him ineffective as a blocker and easily rerouted as a receiver. Small school alert. Plays like the FCS version of Hakeem Butler. Interesting NFL prospect. Pic.twitter.com/mp3g2live92z. Dane Brugler, at Deep Brugler. In November 5, 2018, despite the lack of sand in his pants, Parham's size and length makes him a matchup problem for any team near the red zone. Parham, who finished 2018 with 85 catches for 1,319 yards, 13 touchdowns in 9 games, possesses soft hands, showing the ability to make grabs inside and outside of his frame with consistency. He's also a great athlete for his size, possessing enough speed to run away from linebackers and safeties alike. In terms of route running, Parham is still a bit raw and relies on his physical gifts to present a giant target to his quarterback. It won't be that easy in the NFL, and he will need significant development in that area to find success. As a blocker, Parham should be characterized as willing but ineffective. The willing aspect is important, as it paints the picture that he is willing to improve in that respect, which is more than you can say about a lot of tight ends. In the 7th round, the Cowboys are betting on trades, and a 6'8" tight end with smooth hands seems like as good a bet as any. Enjoy this post. See more film room breakdowns from Owning here. Twitter, @John Owning. More in Cowboys news.